All right, welcome everybody to a Monday night edition chart chat, where we are discussing stocks, the charts of stocks which have that 10 bagger to 100 bagger upside potential. We're already in August 9th. We're towards the end of the summer, and of course, this is when you really see the best opportunities. Right when kind of everybody's on vacation, people are, kind of away from the markets, that's when you kind of have some of the biggest opportunities. And of course, today, Peak Fintech, PKK, became our latest 10 bagger. Literally 10 bagger, 1,000% increase. Here we have the chart right there. That's the chart. Let me pull this down so you can see it better. Peak Fintech, classic story. So we introduced Peak right, I think it was the first week of September. I think it was right after Labor Day, or I got to look up the records. Either it was right before Labor Day, like August 1st, around that time. Definitely before in that first week of September. I'm sure somebody here has the exact date. I don't have it in front of me here. But I do remember the stock was about 35 cents. So that would be, they did a 2-for-1 split. So split adjusted, it would have been about 70 cents. And today, of course, we hit, 7 and change, closed at $7.43 Canadian. So that is an official 10X. And that is our 8th 10 bagger of 2000, the last 18 months, really. So let's see, I have a little list over here. We had Cytodyne, Nextech, Imagine AR, CBDT, of course, a 50 bagger, ESC, Peak Fintech, that's 6. Who's the other one? We had, trying to think, what's the other one? It's not on the list here. Who else do we have? We had, I gotta go through the list now. I can't remember, but I know. But this is number 8. This is number 8, and technically, it's actually 9. Technically, it could be 9 because there was a stock that we kind of debuted on our platform last late August, which was actually 3D Capital, but it was an ignominy. That whole thing was a flaming dumpster fire. So, but that stock actually became a 10 bagger. I think back in January, but I think we introduced it was like 20 cents, whatever. So yeah, so basically, look, this is the bottom line, this is the place where you can find these massive winners here. Yeah, absolutely. So Peak Fintech, but let's kind of revisit the situation with Peak Fintech, because this is kind of a little bit of a educational experience. So if you look at the chart right here, it kind of started off slow. Actually, the stock went down a little bit right after we introduced it. So for the first 6 weeks, it really didn't go anywhere. It dipped. It took a little while to kind of get the rhythm going and people to kind of understand the story a little bit. And all of a sudden it popped. It went to, what is it? $1.50 before this kind of, this reverse split kind of screws things up. But yeah, so then it kind of it consolidated a little bit, and then we had this massive, very long consolidation, which lasted from basically January till May. And a couple of times it really, like over here, right in this April, if you look back at some of the old live streams, I must have said probably a dozen times that I thought that Peak was going to break out, because it had those times when it really could have broken out. But what happened was, because of that financing that they were doing, there was probably a lot of just short sellers. There was definitely pressure on the stock to keep it, under $3. I really, again, I don't want to, I'm not a conspiracy theorist. But there's weird things that always happen with these Canadian financings, and I think they really kept it down and they really pushed it down. I mean, the thing almost broke below $2. This is again pre-split. Um, it broke below this moving average in May. So this is this was not, it wasn't a smooth, it's like, what's that? There is a chart. There's a thing that we show sometimes, which I got from somebody else on the internet, but kind of shows like people think, oh, it's a very smooth journey to this 10-bagger to go to the moon. It's just a smooth road. No, it goes up and down, and definitely this peak has been a massive roller coaster ride. And today is actually a breakout. This is legitimately the breakout that I've been saying was going to happen for 5 months. Finally happened. So here it is. I think the stock is probably going to go. I think it's going to go a lot higher. Now we're actually Peak. We're really technically Peak is not a client anymore. I mean, our program with them really expired a couple months ago, and at this point, they don't need it. I don't think they really need our help. It's kind of taking on a life of its own, and that's kind of what we do. We introduce the companies, we kind of get this thing catalyzed, and then once this thing has an organic following, it has liquidity, then the tricycle wheels can come off, and the company can go on, move on its own. And again, our whole approach with the next super stock platform is just to focus on stocks which have that 10-bagger potential. So stuff which is really about to explode, stuff which can double or triple, not as interesting anymore. So what do I think is going to happen with Peak? I think after this breakout, we're looking at, at this point, it's blue sky. I mean, this thing can go, I don't know. It could easily double from here. I could see this being a $15 stock very easily. Yeah, I mean, $20 could go to $20. I mean, it's possible. So, but it's definitely, I think this is an official breakout, and we are going to I think see much higher prices. It took 5 months. Amazing. Yeah, you have up listings. You have a lot. Look, you get a lot of things that are happening right now. So I think it's possible. Yeah, I think $15-20, definitely possible. Let's see what happens. I would agree. So, but yeah, bottom line is our Peak Fintech is our 8th 10-bagger plus. And but listen, forget about what's in the past. I mean, who cares about stocks that went up 2,000? That stuff doesn't matter. What happens is what's next. So what's going to be our next stock that's going to be a 10-bagger plus, a 100-bagger? I'm looking forward to our first stock that's going to be a 100-bagger. Ideally, a 10-cent stock that becomes like a $10 stock, right? That's 100x, right? From 10 cents, yeah, it's 100x. A 10-cent stock that becomes a $10. That's like, that would be the ideal situation, or maybe a 20-cent stock, a quarter. No, I think a 10-center, a dime stock that becomes $10 would be the ultimate 100-bagger. I'm looking forward to that. Now, the good news is this. We got a couple things in the pipeline right now, which I think we're going to introduce probably in the next few weeks. I'm looking at a couple things which have massive 10-bagger plus upside. And I think one of the stocks, I don't want to talk about it too much because it's not official yet, but I mean, this could be like a long-term, like something which could be really huge. It could be one of our biggest winners to date, and something that could be, really big. I don't know about maybe 100. Why not 100? I don't know about 100-bagger. maybe, I don't know. The company would probably get bought out before it happens. Yeah, we got a couple things in the pipeline, which we're going to introduce. But in the meanwhile, here's the crazy thing. Some of the best opportunities are always right under your nose. And right now, we have a couple of stocks that are really, really cheap. And they really kind of remind me of peak fintech, like last year. Listen, nobody cared about peak fintech when it was 35 cents. Okay, last October, even in November when it was $1, nobody cared about it. Everybody said, "Oh, it's a scam," or this, that. There's a lot of naysayers. So let me tell you two stocks right now, which I'm thinking of. Actually, three stocks, very, very similar characteristics, almost twins. I'll call them the triplets, the peak fintech. No, I'll call it quadruplets because these are three stocks. Stock number one is RHT. RHT, very, very similar to peak fintech. Again, this is a company that's been around. They had a history that a lot of people got burned. It's a stock. They bought early. Things go up and down. So this is a stock that has a lot of haters because maybe people bought in early. They thought, and the company wasn't able to deliver as fast, as the people expected them to, which never really happens. No company ever delivers as fast. And listen, companies always, a lot of companies pivot. Peak fintech, the current business is not what the business that they originally had, right? That's a company that pivoted. Anyway, take a look at this chart, RHT. This thing is exploding. We talked about it last week, or 10 days ago, I guess, 46 cents. The thing just took off like a rocket all of a sudden. And this chart pattern right now is amazing, amazing, amazing chart pattern. I mean, look at the way this thing is acting. I mean, this thing is like a volcano that's just the lava is just gonna explode. I mean, this thing could be $2 very easily. And we've had the CEO on before. Here, you got this pennant, whatever you want to call it. Boom. This thing looks like it's gonna go to $1.50 tomorrow. Is it gonna go to $1.50 tomorrow? I don't know, but it could easily go to $1 plus, like. Tomorrow it could. This amazing, amazing chart pattern. I mean, it's like this coiling. It's like, and it's closing right at the high of the day. I mean, amazing stuff going on here. So I really believe that RHT, Relic Health, easily going to be a massive winner. The gaps, you know what? Look, gaps don't always get filled, and sometimes you just have these things gap. And look, do you really care if it gaps to $2.50? Backfills maybe $1.50. I don't know. But this, I mean, look at this, the old CBDT chart. I mean, that gapped to $2.50. So, I mean, from 35 cents, I believe. So, yeah, this thing, it looks like it has massive, this thing has massive momentum here. And I would agree with this. TBP is number 2 in that 10-bagger plus pipeline. It is kind of really just getting started. I think it's taken a little bit of a break, but I think once this thing starts moving, we're going to see, $2.50 on the stock. Easy. This could be an easy $2.50 stock. Check out the Starwood research report that's online right now. It explains the whole story. How this could be a, $10 stock, basically. I mean, Tetra Biopharma could be a $10 stock within, a year and a half. So that's a 40x from here. 40 times your money you could make. The downside is you could lose 27 cents. The upside, you can make $10. I don't know. It's a pretty good risk reward ratio. I mean, this thing could go to zero. Absolutely could go to zero. Like any stock can go. Peak fintech can go to zero tomorrow. Like every single stock can go to zero tomorrow. but you're risking 27 cents to make $10. Now, it's not even 27. I think really the bottom in the stock is maybe 15 cents because it's never really dropped below that. So you're really risking 10 cents to make potentially $10, 100 to 1. That's an asymmetric setup. Perfect setup. I mean, it really does not get better than that. I don't think it does. Look, I have to say that every stock can go to zero. Look, let me pull up our disclaimer here. Let me get our disclaimer up there because just in case anybody doesn't. Yeah, here we go. Yeah, nothing here is a recommendation to buy or sell securities. All the companies we're talking about are clients or were clients or whatever client of Wall Street Report. So everything here is biased information. It's completely biased. I'm 1,000% biased with these stocks. Don't believe anything that you hear here. This is all, by the way, opinion. I'm not discussing any company news information, no factual stuff, no official company news. Purely my kind of opinion about the chart and maybe a little bit of color. That's it. And if I do make comments, it is not official company stuff. Like they're not telling me to tell you this. Everything that I do on this chart chat after hours thing is purely opinion, positive or negative. As I'm sure everybody remembers, I sometimes I don't always say positive things about a company. I kind of tell you, as much as I can, what the reality is or what I think is. TBP, large float. Yeah, that's great. I love these large floats. That means this thing can trade. Look at the CBDT. Do you remember CBDT? It's a stock we introduced at a nickel that went to $2.50 in 4 months. Yes, 3D Capital was introduced on our platform last August, I believe. We didn't quite hit it off with Sheldon. I want to have nothing to do with the guy. So anyway, so that but 3D, it was an interesting story. I think, and he was actually very helpful with Imagine AR. For a while. So Imagine AR, also a former client of Wall Street Reporter back last 18 months ago, went from, I don't know, that was up 1,700%. I think it went from, I forgot where. And then it went even higher a few months ago, I think way after we were no longer involved. I think it went to like 50s, by the way, just because we're not working with a company doesn't mean it's not going to go further. Sometimes, it may not be a fit or, it's whatever. It's, the ideal situation I'm always looking for is I want to be involved with a company for 6 months, maybe 9 months. I really don't want to, be doing this for a year because, that means things are just taking very long. But yeah, 6 to 9 months 6 months is the ideal. It takes us about 4 months to really kind of build traction. By 6 months, you can kind of really see momentum going. And I think within that time, we could see, 5x plus. And, then it could become like a 10-bagger. But so SLH is also a former client. We're not working with them. I think actually that stock is going to do well. I'll pull up the chart just for, for old time's sake, because have shares from an option exercise. So I am biased. I'd love to see this thing go to 1,000, tomorrow. So I think this actually is looking pretty good from a technical perspective. Had a really rough few months, and they're not promoting the stock with kind of this type of promotion. I think they try to do more institutional stuff, and it's kind of going to take them a while to find their legs, I guess. But I think once the stock, I think you're going to see it break out of this moving average at some point. I think we're going to see this break above $5. And when it does break above $5, I think we're going to see $10 in this stock. Or at least I'm definitely hoping it would, because that would be a very nice situation if we could see $10 on this. So yes, I think it needs to break out of $5. Probably the next couple of weeks. I think by September. I think we're going to see this thing start moving after Labor Day because again, like what right now, they're not dealing with retail anymore. They're trying to get institutions involved, and those guys are really on vacation right now. So there's not going to be a lot of. I don't think there's going to be a lot of activity in this thing till September, mid-September, October. You have investor conferences start happening September, October. So I'm hoping that they're going to get into that kind of rhythm of things. And yeah, you're going to see, I think, $8-10 probably, but before the end of the year. I don't think it's going to be a smooth trip, but I think we will see $8-10 on this stock. Okay, now let's go to the number one. Let me go to our number one stock. I'm going to tell you what is my number one pick. I don't want to use the word pick because that implies some sort of investment opinion or recommendation, which we do not do here. We're not making any investment recommendations, advice, or anything. But as you can see in this description below, by the way, if you're just tuning in, click the subscribe button, click the like and the dislike. No, don't click just click the like button, click the subscribe button. I'm actually shocked that we only have I think it's amazing to me. This channel has got to be the best stock. I hate to use it's not a stock picking channel because it's not. It's a promotional channel, but there is no way that there is any YouTube thing out there that's got a better track record. Who else has 8 stocks that are up, over 1,000% in 18 months? Not even 1,000. We're talking about 1,000, between 1,000 and 5,000%. I'm not even talking about the triples, the 5Xs. We've had so many of those. I can't even count those. That's like Cloud MD. It's like, I don't know, this is Skylight. We have a whole bunch of stocks that are up, 5X. I don't even look at those stocks. I'm only interested in 10X to 100X. Who else has those type of numbers? Nobody on YouTube. I mean, it blows my mind. I think I got to wear that hat again. I got to wear that, like that guy, what is it? The guy with the Dirty Sanchez mustache, the financial education guy. This guy's got hundreds of thousands of subscribers, and it's amazing to me. So anyway, press the subscribe button. Tell your stupid friends. Make sure they subscribe to it. But yeah, this is let's see, 5Xs. Yeah, let me tell you something. These 5Xs can add up. I mean, look, we had a guy who turned $2,000 into $1 million by parlaying a couple of 5-baggers. And that is, I should say, what's his name? Calvin Ting. I think he had a 5X, then another 5X, and it adds up. Okay, Ethan is back. Welcome. Yeah. All right. Somebody's making money. And of course, we have had losers. I do not want to say that everything here is. We've had a couple of dog stocks. We've had a couple of dogs. I should say the dogs have been, in every single case, the dogs have been those companies that kind of, they show up and then MIA. You never hear from them again. Or they go they just go dark and, I don't know what. We've had a couple of those. And in last, I don't know, since March, a couple of those showed up. So that has kind of dragged things down. That's not going to happen in the future because we have a new policy, which is for companies to sign up with us, they have to, we're telling them up front, okay, you're signing up to be on our platform. The idea is you're going to be putting out minimum 4-6 pieces of news in the first 5 weeks, 6 weeks. If not, we're going to kick you off the platform. We're going to keep the money. That's right. We're going to keep the money and you're gone. We're never going to mention you again. So, I think it's going to make people more serious, hopefully. Okay, so here comes the number one pick. Here is a stock which I believe is going to be a 10-bagger. And I'm actually shocked. I'm shocked that nobody has jumped onto this thing yet. This thing reminds me of peak fintech last year. Here comes the stock. Logic. LGIQ. And this is also, this is the OTC. This is the OTC chart. It's trading on a Neo exchange right now. So the Canadians can buy this in their TFSA accounts. And first of all, let me show you kind of this chart here, why I like this from a technical perspective. One of my theories is stocks can always go back to their old highs. I mean, you can see what this was. Now, there was a reverse split, so it kind of screws up the chart. But you know what? I mean, in theory, those are the numbers. So can this be a $40 stock? 100%. Logic can easily be a $40 stock within the next 12 months. Just like Peak became a 10-bagger, I believe Logic can become our next 10-bagger and be a $30 stock in the next 12 months. I don't understand why this thing has not taken off yet. I really don't understand it. But then again, look, it's just the way it is. That's the opportunity. I think that is when you have the big opportunity is, sometimes it takes a while for these things to kind of find their legs, It's just, and that's really the way it works. By the way, check out online starwoodresearch.com. Our affiliate, Starwood Research, is an affiliate of Wall Street Reporter. Has a report on this stock explaining in plain English why the path for how this can become a 10x stock, meaning a $20 to $30 is the upside target. And the reason is very simple. These guys are doing 40 million, 38 million plus run rate. They've grown through some acquisitions. They've made acquisitions historically. They're in the e-commerce fintech business. Guess where? In Southeast Asia. That's a big market for them. Indonesia. One of the hottest markets. I mean, Alibaba, SEA, that they see that as the big opportunity. Of course, they're also in the US. They have a couple of, I think their business is they have two parts. They have the online marketing, e-commerce, whatever, digital marketing side, which is mostly for the US. Then they have kind of a fintech side and some app, mobile apps, which is mostly for the Southeast Asia market. So maybe that's why the market is confused, because you kind of have almost two different businesses under one roof. But I don't know. I have a feeling that you're going to see some interesting things with the stock. Now, here's the crazy thing. So they're doing, let's call it 40 million run rate. They're trading at a market cap of 75 million right now, $75 million. The peer group is trading at 10x revenues. These guys are trading at 2x revenues. So in theory, this should be 750 million market cap. If it, excuse me, not actually, no, it could be 750 if you do 50. No, it should be like 500 million market cap. So that would be yeah. What is it? Wait, if they're doing 40 million, 400 million, they got 58. Yeah, I think you got like $10 minimum from here. Just on the multiple, plus. They're going to be doing other acquisitions. They're not going to do it right now because, they probably need to use their stock, etc. But when this thing starts moving, these guys are very opportunistic. So, and the CEO, the chairman, Brent's son, the guy's talking about, they've done acquisitions already. And, He's talked about getting, he's got a pipeline of acquisitions. They could probably pick up 50 million in revenues in the next 12 months. I mean, they could exit next year $100 million run rate. At a $100 million run rate, you're looking at, 10, 20x. I mean, some of their peers are trading at 30x revenues, right? So this could be, $2 billion. I mean, this thing has so much upside. It's really shocking to me that this thing is right now, trading so cheap. It's amazing. But yeah, I think that Logic is going to be that next 10 bagger. You got to keep an eye on this thing. I mean, look, as they say, do your own due diligence. But yeah, do your own due diligence. This company is just not quite. You know what it is? I just think that people don't quite understand it. That the company hasn't quite made that connection, or investors haven't made the connection to really understand the story. Maybe because you have kind of the Southeast Asia component, you got the Indonesia business, you have the U.S. marketing business. Maybe that's what it is. I don't know. There's just, for whatever reason, investors didn't quite get it yet. Now, we introduced Logic last year at $3.50. So we introduced this thing at $3.50 last year, and it ran up to $14. It ran up to $14, and then of course they they say, look, we're going to go onto the New York Exchange. We're going to open up for Canada. We're going to do an IPO in Canada, and that killed the stock. I mean, every time companies raise money in Canada, they get their stock destroyed. So because what happens is all of a sudden you have to go into a quiet period. You can't promote the stock. You can't do any press releases. So the company has no defenses. The short sellers come out, and then they cover it through the offering. So, I mean, the short sellers made out like bandits on this thing. They shorted this thing from probably $10, $12 down to like $3. Amazing. Anyway, I think a lot of them already have covered, and I think we're going to see this move back. I mean, again, last year it ran from $3.50 to $14, so it was almost a 5x. And again, there is nothing wrong with 5 baggers. So this was already a 5 bagger, almost 4 bagger. And I think from right where it is right now, it could easily be a 5 bagger plus in the next 3, 4, 5 months. So keep an eye on Logic. Okay, I see somebody here to comment about margins. Yeah, okay, very good comment. So okay. So what you're looking at, I think this is the opportunity. That's their margins from the past. So they had a low margin business. Their margins are improving now. They're increasing dramatically. They're switching around their business. So you're going to see much higher margins. Now you're starting to see much higher margins. And I think once people see that, the stock is going to do very well. So yeah, that's the past. Look what they're going to be doing going forward. Again, I think that is the issue, is that they had this kind of, hey, you know what? You think 16% is a low margin? Look, what are Peak Fintech's margins? Look at their margins, okay, and look how well that stock has done. So yeah, I think you're gonna see, yeah. Hey, we're gonna have the chairman Brent on. I think this week on Thursday. He's gonna be on Thursday. I think their earnings are coming out next week, but we're gonna have a live stream with Logic this Thursday. So please join the live stream, check it out, ask your questions. Again, Don't take my word for it. Don't believe anything I have to say. Listen, ask him your questions. He'll get it direct from the source. We did cover. You missed it. You missed Relic. You missed the Relic. Eric, you're way too late. But for you, just for you, because you sent me the king cake from Louisiana. Well, here we go. We're gonna pull up a Relic one more time. Amazing chart right now. If you look at the, especially this thing looks like it's gonna go straight to $2, as I was saying earlier. And again, if you look at this 1 hour chart, you see this pennant formation. I'm actually going to do this. I'm going to draw you this pennant. I mean, the 1 hour chart is a little bit too, that's kind of like, that's really, too speculative. But here we go. Boom. There is your pennant. There is your pennant, right? So when the stock breaks out of here, 73 cents, if the stock breaks from 73 cents, it's going to have this massive momentum because it's like coiling. What's happening is it's coiling right now. It's been coiling in this pennant, like a spring. And once the spring breaks out, I think the move is to $1, above 90 cents. I think 95 cents to $1. So this thing is ready to just go ballistic. Will peak go below? No, I don't think so. I mean, no. I think peak is, in my opinion, I think we're going to see north of $10 at this point. I mean, maybe you look at pre-split. So yeah, I think we're going to see $12 plus, $15. I mean, the chart looks really good here. So yeah. Visby, also Visby. Now Visby has been a kind of, I don't know, they've been kind of, I don't know, vacation. They've been kind of a bit of a hiatus. I think they're going to be coming back next few weeks. I think they had the finance. Yeah, they're kind of, I guess, on a vacation. Not a vacation. I don't know. Okay, so here is just going Visby. This is an old chart. Let me pull up the 1 hour, 1 day chart. Let me clear this drawing. This is not related. This is okay. Visby chart, I think, is looking pretty good. I don't like today's action is not great. I don't like this weird close. It's kind of like closing in below. I don't like that close, but you can kind of see that this thing is looking to break out. So at some point, you're going to see a clean break above this 50-cent range, and then it can go much higher. So that is what the Visby chart looks like. Let me see here. What else? Yeah, so okay, so anybody who is a degenerate day trader, the best bet you have right now is RHT for quick pop. I mean, if maybe you're an investor, I don't know, but for a day trader setup, this thing looks really good. I mean, this thing looks really amazing. And then, of course, we have Logic, TBP. I would say in order of like, I don't know, priority, I would say Relic looks like it's going to explode tomorrow. Logic, you know what? Logic kind of reminds me of fans. Fans. Why didn't I talk about fans? It's crazy. This is exactly Logic is very similar to fans. It's like annoying chart. It's like so annoying. It's always like, it always has these fake outs, and then it goes up, and you got these fake outs. So look, fans is a stock we introduced last year at 20 cents, I believe, 25 cents maybe. And then you had, it took a long time for it to get going. And then it finally broke out. Then it went to 220, and it kind of came back down. And I think it's going to go back to $3. But look what's happening right now. You had this what looked like a breakout on uh, Thursday, I think was it, right? They this kind of cooled off, and today you had this kind of weird, profit taking. It's like a weird chart. I think it's probably going to close this gap, but ultimately, I think fans is going to be back to $253. It could be a $4 stock, but it's just it's a very annoying. Like it does these. It just has a weird. It's got its own weird rhythm. And logic is exactly, it's very similar. Logic does kind of the same thing. I don't know why certain charts have these weird personalities, but this one is definitely has this weird personality. So you're probably going to see this thing go up tomorrow. It's going to have a couple of fake outs. And then next thing you know, this thing could be $10. I mean, there's very, very thin float. I mean, this thing could move look what happened last time. It went from $3, from $2, let's say, to 10 bucks, 5x in a month, basically, in the space of a month. I think it could do it again. So, it's really an amazing thing. So, so Trip actually is not a client at this point. But I'll pull up their chart only because I have some stock. So I'm hoping this stock goes higher. I'm biased to the upside. So yeah, I don't. There've been again, they announced their merger. So with this company, they're quiet now. I don't know what's going on. I have a feeling that this thing is going to go much higher. I have a feeling it's going to go back to this kind of 70-cent range, or at least 55 cents. It's building like a long base. I think if you get like Bruce Linton in there as chairman, I think he announced he's probably going to be. I think that's I don't know what the status is, but if he really comes on as like chairman of the company and they do this merger, and then all of a sudden it's going to become a slightly different business. It's not going to be a pure play psychedelic anymore. So it's going to be cannabis, psychedelics all in one. I think if he becomes chairman and he kind of shakes things up a little bit, this thing could really move. If you notice, this thing has not gone down. It's been kind of in a holding pattern, very similar to Peak Fintech. Slightly different chart pattern, but same basic idea. So that's the deal. VST also. Wait, you guys are asking about former clients. So VST, we're not working with a couple months already. So yeah, we're by September. By the time September rolls around, we're going to have a couple of new exciting companies we're going to be introducing, and we're going to have a much tighter focus going into the end of this year. And I think we're going to see some massive winners come out of the next couple of stocks. So yeah, I would say I think basically the merger needs to close. I think a couple of things. I think once that merger closes and Linton becomes chairman, officially, you're going to have some excitement there. But on that note, let me go back to kind of the stock where I see the biggest immediate opportunity, biggest percentage opportunity, which is Logic. The chart action last 2 days is, this is kind of a little bit ugly. Like, I don't like the fact that it broke, kind of below this moving average again. It's so annoying when it does that. It's probably gonna like kind of build a base back to this 250, then go up. It's exactly like fans. They do the same type of thing. But anyway, bottom line is Logic is a stock that you want to keep an eye on. And, you might want to think about accumulating some in this kind of range. Let me finish off on Peak Fintech. Again, we're seeing a clean breakout over here. This is it. It broke out of that $6 range. This is the actually I had a chart. I had this. So basically this green line was that was kind of the official roof on the stock. And what you saw happen on Friday was the first time. Friday's close was the first clean break above that $3 was the old number, $6 after the split. And today, second full day, very, very strong follow through. Look at this volume, massive volume, amazing volume, 1 million shares. I mean, this thing is getting massive momentum. I mean, I could see this thing doubling, $15. It could easily happen. Easily happen. So with that said, this week, the stocks to watch: RHT, RQHTF, that's Relic Health, RHT, Fans Unite, Fans, Logic, LGIQ. I know none of you will look at Logic because, maybe a few people are into Logic. It's going to be a sleeper, a few months from now. I have a feeling that in about 4 or 5 months, I'm going to be doing one of these live streams again, and I'm going to say Logic is now our latest 10-bagger. I don't know. I don't think it's going to be $35 in a few months. But I think it could be $15 plus. So in a few months. And so we got RHT, Fans, Logic, TBP. TBP, I think, is going to be easily a 10-bagger. Easily, I could be back on here by November, Thanksgiving time, saying, hey, TBP, Tetra Biopharma, is now officially our 10-bagger as a $2 and actually, no, to be a 10-bagger, it would only have to be $1.50, because we introduced it, I think, at 15 or 17 cents. I think it was 17 cents when we introduced it. So at $2, it'll be a 10-bagger, basically, clean 10-bagger. Great question. You know what? No, I got to reschedule. We're going to do it, I think, later in the week. We have a new company. I forgot to. We have a company we're going to introduce, our next baby unicorn. So this is a stock which has, again, it's not a company where, the baby unicorn program, again, is not, these are stocks we're introducing. We don't know if we're going to do something with it or not, but they're very interesting and they could move. Like last time we had the baby unicorns, a couple of those stocks moved. I think one of them was a penny stock. It went from like 2 cents to 4 cents. So basically it was a double in a day. But we're going to have a stock, excuse me, this week. Which is a stock that I think could be a big winner. It's got the right, I think it's got the right stuff. We'll see what happens. But yeah, so the baby unicorn stocks is not tomorrow. I'm going to send that announcement. It's going to be probably later in the week. And definitely tune in, click, I'll be putting out the link later. It should be very good. And that's it. So thank you, everybody, for joining us. Congratulations to everybody who has made money with Peak Fintech, who has, anybody who got in early and held on, you deserve all the credit. So that's it. I'll see you on the next live stream, probably later this week. We're going to be on Thursday. We have a busy day. Everybody's coming back from vacation. We're going to have Logic. We're going to have Delic Holdings, and we're going to have, I'm waiting to hear from Tetra Biopharma and Fans. So TBP and Fans, I'm hoping we're going to have also. So this week, things are going to be picking up, and I think into September, we're going to be getting a lot of action. So thank you again, and I'll see you all on the next one.